All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the webinar. As I said, we do have enough attendees today that we have things on mute today. So please use the chat function if you have any questions, want to say hi, want to weigh in on anything Zach and I or Trish are saying throughout the webinar, please feel free. We are going to go ahead and get started, even though we don't quite have everyone here, as I know, and I got some emails from folks that they're going to be looking for the recording. So we are recording this and we will post it and allow people to share it afterwards. So with that, I'm going to turn the mic over to Trish Olson with NYIB.
Thank you. As Kathleen said, my name is Trish Olson, and most of you probably know me through NYIB. I'm the current chair. And we are just really excited today to work with our friends here at HT Mobile Apps. A lot of you probably know them more for the member junior side of things, member junior app. However, today they're really going to dive deep into the Plinqit product, which is a new program. And so I want to thank HT Mobile for being here with us. Thank you, Kathleen, and thank you for all the support that you've given NYIB and credit unions across the country for so many years. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you, Trish. We appreciate you as well. Quickly, just because I know that we might send this recording to some credit unions who might not know NYIB, could you just give a quick overview of what it is and what you guys do in case there's credit unions watching us who want to get involved?
Absolutely. So NYIB stands for the National Youth Involvement Board, and we've been around, actually, most people don't realize this, since 1972. And we really focus on providing education through the credit union platform with credit union educators across the country. And so if you work for a credit union and you want to learn more about financial education, you don't have a program, you're thinking of starting a program, or you do have a program and you're not part of our network, please reach out. You can currently see us. We have a Facebook group, National Youth Involvement Board. We also have a current website, nyib.org. I will tell you that we have some exciting things coming and some big changes coming as well. And so that website will be replaced in the very near future. But if you have any questions or want to get involved in any way, please certainly feel free to reach out to me. Check out our Facebook group, follow us. We would love to have some new faces and some new credit unions.
Awesome, Trish. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And hi, everybody. I'm Kathleen Craig. As Trish said, I'm the founder and CEO of HT Mobile. We'll talk more about that in just a second. And I'm joined by my good friend, Zach from Forefront Credit Union. When we got this opportunity from NYIB to chat with all of you about our product, Plinqit, we were so thankful and excited to do so. However, we think it's always more powerful to hear from people in your seat and people doing what you're doing. So Zach was kind enough to come along for the ride and join us for this afternoon, and I'll let him talk more about Forefront in just a little bit. With that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can pull up our deck. Again, feel free to use the chat function throughout. Trish, if you want to turn your video off at this point, totally feel free. We get it. So people don't have to watch. Thanks. All right, let me share.
You mean you don't want to watch me eat lunch?
I'm sure we'd be happy to.
Okay.
All right, and I'm going to go ahead and stop my video as well, just while we're presenting, and then I'll turn it back on for the Q&A as well. All right. Sorry, we're having a little bit of a delay here. All right, so again, as Trish said, we're HTMA. We've been a sponsor and supporter of NYIB since 2014 when they had their meeting in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and it felt like fate that credit union financial educators were coming to Michigan, and we're a Michigan-based fintech startup that really focuses on education. So we've been a proud supporter since then and excited to talk to you today about our latest product, Plinqit. Again, the company was founded in 2013. We have Plinqit, Member Junior, and our latest product, Hip Pocket, as well. We serve institutions from 26 million in assets to over 20 billion across over 20 states in the US. So we're out there living it. I used to be in a similar role to Zach at about $1 billion financial institution, and now I'm lucky enough to work with folks across the country. So if I still say we and us, I still feel like I'm a part of credit unions and still in in that seat today. So thanks for your time. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to my friend Zach so he can tell you a little bit about Forefront and himself.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Zach Eichner. I am our Senior Vice President of Remote Services and Technology here at Forefront Credit Union, a new title I just took on here in the last few weeks. I oversee our digital banking, our IT department, our communications center, and our payment services team. And Forefront Credit Union is headquartered in Traverse City, Michigan. So we're in beautiful God's country here in northern Michigan. We started with two institutions 6 years ago who kind of merged together to leverage size and scale to deliver great technology to members to really empower them to meet their financial needs. And that's why we came together. We've grown now to $740 million in assets. We're at 88,000 members. We've been around collectively as the individual credit unions for 60 years. And really, our focus has always been to really try to bring us back to what credit unions were founded for, and serving the underserved, encouraging thrift, helping people really be empowered to make the appropriate decisions on what's going to work best for them, for their money, and for their future, for their plans. And we look for strategic partnerships with fintechs and with other companies to really find ways to find something that's unique that we don't have to build ourselves, that we can help deliver to those members and to provide that powerful tool for them.
That's awesome, Zach. Thank you so much. And yeah, we are lucky enough, as Trish mentioned, we started the company with Member Junior, which is our app for kids and basically, kids mobile banking with lessons and financial education. We really built that product to complement your youth savings account. But about 2015, we actually had a few partners. Forefront wasn't our partner at the time, but was similar to Forefront with a similar mission, really focused on financial education, serving the underserved, encouraging savings. And a couple of our clients came to us and they were like, Member Junior's great, but it's kids, right? We really want to focus on adults and helping adults. And how do we do that? And we said, okay, that's great. What do you want? What are you looking for? And it was interesting because almost all of them said, I think we want like a budgeting tool. And we were like, we definitely want to build something for you. We definitely see the power. We definitely know adults need help with money, but a budgeting tool, there's so many PFMs already on the market. And we just weren't sure that was the right way. So what we did is we chose to get a grant through the state of Michigan and really study consumer behavior, right? A lot of us tout that we want to do financial education. A lot of us tout that we want to help people. But what does that mean? How are people using their money? Where can we really step in and make a difference? So through that work and through that grant, what we learned, and again, I don't think this will surprise any of you on the phone because you're in the space, but we always like to kind of level set because this may also help you build the case internally or to those folks in your credit union who maybe don't know that this is going on. But money is hard, right? That's the gist of it. 30% of income right now is spent on debt repayment. 50% of the population, 50%, so 1 in 2 US adults cannot save $500. So that means 1 in 2 of us are one flat tire or incident away from a financial crisis. And I always like to reiterate here, because I think a lot of times our executive leadership, our boards or CEOs sometimes are like, well, that's just, again, the underserved or the unbanked. But at the end of the day, 1 in 2, it's people across all demographics and across all income levels that really struggle with money and struggle to save. Meanwhile, 82% of young people are open to switching financial institutions. So it's really interesting that this next generation just doesn't have the same loyalty to us. And I know Zach will touch on that later. They're going to have relationships with other institutions and not just your credit union. So how do we build that loyalty? How do we get more of their wallet share? How do we get more of their attention? And what was interesting to us is when we asked them about their confidence and whether or not they felt that they know the steps to managing their money, 95% of young people we spoke to, and this is 25 to 35-year-olds, did not feel that they knew the steps to managing their money. but 100% of them wanted to know. So it seemed just like this perfect fit that, wow, if we could really find a way to educate them, they'd be open and they want to listen. So we said to them, okay, well, if you don't know the steps to managing your money, but you want to know, if you had a question about money, then who would you ask? And the young people said, Mom, Dad, Google, and friends. Not a single young person answered my bank. And before you think I'm just talking about banks, because I know we're on a credit union call, this was across the board, whether they used a credit union, a big bank, a small bank. We were not a part of their paradigm. As much as we try to, and as much as value as we try to add to our members, when they're thinking about their money, they go to Google or they go to their mom or they go to their dad. So we felt like there was a really key opportunity to use technology, to use digital, to use data, and all the great personalization abilities that we have coming to build a better platform, to really put your credit union at the center of it all, and helping on their financial journey. And that's the genesis of why we decided to create Plinqit. So the solution that we came up with is Plinqit. Plinqit is a goal-based savings and intelligent content platform. It's the first of its kind saving platform that pays end users for reaching their savings goals and learning about money. Again, we want to be really clear, Plinqit is not a PFM. And the reason for that is I do think that there's a market for PFMs, right? But in our research, what we learned is budgeters are budgeters and non-budgeters are non-budgeters. And it is really hard to use PFM to change people's behavior. So while PFM is a sticky product and it's very utilized by those people that are budgeters, it's not a behavior changing product. And it just doesn't have the broad appeal as savings and micro saving and behavior-based savings. So that's the path we decided to take. Zach, I'm going to pause there because I can't see your face. Do you have anything to add there or on the PFM side? I know you guys have PFM and Plinqit.
Yeah, I agree 100% on the PFM side. I think that PFM 2.0 or 3.0, whatever it's going to be, right? When you're leveraging artificial intelligence and you're trying to find ways to build out a way to engage those people who might not be there naturally. The PFM solution that we use now, actually, if you go into budget, it will look back at your last 3 months and show you what your budget is and set it automatically. So it's not something you have to go in and kind of build it out yourself. It really does it off your spending habits if you've linked the accounts that you spend from. So I think that can start to help kind of onboard more people, but you're absolutely right. People who budget, who want to budget, who know how to budget will use PFM tools. Anybody else is going to kind of start down that road and say, you know what, this is just too much work still, and I'm not really into it.
Yep, exactly. And so we wanted to start one step before, right? So that's where we view Plinqit. We don't view it as a competitor to PFM or a budgeting tool if that's what you already have or are looking to put in place. We view it as kind of, if you've ever done Dave Ramsey, as a baby step number one. So we've developed a platform for goal-based or behavior-based savings. So the goal is for the credit union to drive new relationships. What we love about Plinqit is it's a value add for current members and current employees of the credit union, but you can also get net new savers. A Plinqit account can be the first account that a member opens with you. It builds brand loyalty. We have targeted cross-sell opportunities throughout the application. We want to provide you meaningful insights. We know the last thing you need is another reporting tool or another set of data. So we try really hard in our platform to provide you relevant data that you can actually take action on, and cross-sell lists based on what the user's behavior is. And then the goal of Plinqit is that it's actually a lower operating cost than a traditional club or savings account. So if you're still operating a Christmas club, we totally get it because they have such a loyal following, and people love them, and they're hard to retire because people really do love them. But switching them over to Plinqit, we typically saves our institutions a good amount of cost and operational overhead by switching them over to an automated savings. For the end user, the goal is committed savings. We reward them for taking financial education through our patented technology. We want to offer them advice. So again, I think Zach just mentioned the term, PFM 2.0 or 3.0. if we really believe at Plinqit and at HTMA, if people knew the questions to ask, they would ask them, right? They don't know what to ask. They don't know how to manage their money. So us coming alongside with relevant advice, using their data to give suggestions or prompts is really the right way to go about it in a non-judgmental way. We knew it had to be free and automatic. Everyone expects everything to be free and to do everything for them. So we knew it had to be easy and simple to use. And the goal is that the money's out of sight, out of mind, so they can actually build savings while we're making it fun for them. There's 3 different ways to engage. So we have our standalone application and a custom branded site. We can integrate into your mobile and online banking, or if we have larger institutions on the call today, we also have a full suite of APIs where you can completely customize the user experience for Plinqit as well. So how does it work? So again, this baby step number 1 is to get people to that $500 in savings. It's life-changing, right? If you know you have cash in the bank and you blow a tire, it's a very different experience when you know you can pay for it as opposed to having to use a high-interest credit card or other means of payment. So with Plinqit, a customer or member signs up. They link their primary checking account. This is where you can get net new because the checking account can be at your credit union. So for example, Forefront Credit Union, or it can be at any US financial institution. They set their savings goal, how much they can save, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. Then the money is automatically transferred from their primary checking account to their Plinqit account, which is held at your credit union while their savings grows. Our average goal is 12 months in length. So what's great and exciting is during that 12 months that they're growing their savings and building this emergency fund, we have this rich data and information on them, what they're clicking on from a financial education standpoint, what they're spending on, where we can then offer them advice and relevant cross-sell. It takes less than 5 minutes to set up a Plinqit account, and 20% of Plinqit accounts are new credit union contacts. We're really proud of the work that we've done with Plinqit and that we've really changed behavior and changed lives through the platform. That was a goal, right, of ours. We didn't just want to build a product and find a problem. We wanted to use that research and that data to help people have savings for the first time. And so we're really proud to share that 80% of users of the Plinqit platform reach their savings goal. 71% of our users who break the safe, as we call it, or dip into the money early, actually continue saving. So we do have folks that something comes up, they blow a tire, or, again, they have some kind of emergency and they need to dip into the money, but 71% of those folks keep on saving and still get to their goal. 55% of our users engage with that paid financial education content I mentioned. So if you can picture a video on first-time home buying, you can actually pay end users 5 cents, 10 cents, 25 cents into their savings for viewing that content. And 55% of users are engaging. We've had users save over $25,000 individually with Plinqit. And most importantly to us is, again, our small savers, those folks who send us notes on a daily basis or weekly basis saying, hey, for the first time, I have $500 in savings or $1,000 in savings. Our average customer is with us over 18 months. So that means folks go from their first goal to their second and so on, and they continue to save with us. Our age range, we really did, again, target up that 25 to 35-year-old age range. And so we have a really broad base, all the way from 18 to 80 year olds using it. However, the majority of our users are kind of that 18 to 44, with 59% of users being that target demographic we were looking for. So with that, we are so proud of our success with Forefront. So Forefront has been just such a great partner to us and many other fintechs, which I'd love for Zach to touch on. But they've had a lot of success with Plinqit. They've become a client. They're on our board. They've invested in us. And we're really proud of the work that they've done with Plinqit. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Zach so you can kind of talk about why you chose Plinqit maybe and some of the successes you've had with the program.
Yeah, absolutely. So what brought me to Plinqit and what really, engaged me and attracted me to the program overall was, goals-based savings, kind of a set it and forget it saving situation, transferring funds from a checking, doing an ACH split. These are things that we all do at credit unions, and we've had these products forever. And yet these savings statistics of, again, 50% of the humans in the country can't save $500. And so that means 50% of my members, or 44,000 people, can't save $500. And if that's the case, then how am I really executing on the reason that credit unions are here, right? If we have all these members and all these tools, but I just can't engage, what do I need to do? How do I solve that problem? And how do I meet that need and fulfill that commitment of encouraging thrift and serving the underserved and helping people achieve those savings goals? How do I really, at the end of the day, make a member better off because they were a member than anything else? And it was funny to me because I saw a lot of hand wringing early on about fintechs, and I'm happy to see a lot of that changed. But there was this fear that, hey, these fintechs are going to come along and are going to steal our members, and they're going to start eating our lunch, and they're going to do this stuff. And I would kind of chuckle at that, because the reason that fintechs were so successful was two reasons. One, they were meeting a need, and they were creating just a really great, engaging user experience. And those two things are things that if we want to do that as well, there's a really easy way to do that, right? It's not try to build it ourselves. It's find a partner who can really help us meet those goals. And so I learned about Plinqit and reached out and got to talk with Kathleen, and I could tell immediately that she shared that same passion and that same credit union philosophy of we just want to help people, right? We want to truly engage them and make these small impacts that can have a really large ripple effect and can really create savers of people who aren't savers now. And that conversation led to a partnership eventually, going through, kind of seeing the demo, walking through some of the specifics of how that worked. And it felt like the right fit at the right time. And so we partnered with Plinqit and said, hey, we're going to do this. And not only did we sign a contract, but we also became an investor because we believed that strongly in what they were doing and what HT Mobile Apps has developed here, that we wanted to help be a part of the success and make sure that we're making a difference, not just for the members, at Forefront Credit Union, primarily in Northern Michigan, but really across the country. And it's been great. As you can see, our successes have been great. We really were unsure what to do because we signed a contract at the end of 19 with a plan to kind of launch Plinqit first quarter of 2020, and then obviously COVID comes along, and there's this panic, and we're everybody's shutting branches, and there's stay-at-home orders, and there's us working on waiving fees and extending loans and doing anything we can do to try to help our members just navigate this really volatile time. And so we're really unsure of where does Plinqit fit with that? How do we come out in this time, in this financially turbulent moment, and say that hey, you should set a savings goal and you should start saving more, when everybody was just so concerned about what to do? And so we thought about it for a while, and we ended up launching in April, and the adoption and the engagement was outstanding. I mean, we've hit that close to $250,000 in less than 10 months. Our employees signed up and loved it. We get to see 3,000 we're at 3,100 now build skills activities that people have completed and have done. And the engagement has just been great. We see great growth. We see strong engagement, and we get to sit back and say, we're doing the right thing. We get to fulfill that credit union mission, that focus that we have, and really offer something that's unique, that's engaging, and that we've seen people. And I hear employees talk about it all the time now. We walk around and they're like, hey, I need to get a such and such, or I want to go on this trip. Like, oh, I'll set up another Plinqit. And so people adding multiple goals and kind of going through and achieving that first goal and being happy and rolling it to the next one. And whether it's a vacation or a vacuum or a whatever, people just start going down this road. And it's really fun to watch people who didn't save this way before really engaging with this product. And it really is a vote of confidence that we did the right thing and that we made the right choice.
Thank you so much, Zach. And obviously for us, we could talk about Plinqit all day, but one of the things we love and are so proud of being a partner with Forefront is your innovation with other products. And I know that you guys have launched Autobooks and Larky and many different fintechs, but we wanted to highlight for those of you on the phone today, another success that Forefront's had, just so we can show you another way too of being innovative and partnering with fintech. And I just love your story about deciding to add credit scores to your mobile and how you did that, Zach. So I'm going to turn it over to you again and let you share a bit about your other fintech partnerships and how you've gone about it kind of from top to bottom.
Yeah, absolutely. So our digital transformation strategy and our digital strategy overall has always been about putting the right tools in the right places that will engage people wherever they are on their journey, right? That's our commitment, is to really meet them where they are, make that experience better. And we knew that we wanted to offer credit scores. We knew that people were coming to expect that from a financial institution, and provide that data. And what gave me pause and what I wanted to try to solve was, when you look at like a Credit Karma, a Capital One, a Discover, any of these companies that are providing credit scores, there's that disclaimer that kind of comes along with that, right? Which is for educational purposes only. This is to help you understand where you're going. This doesn't necessarily mean anything beyond this app or beyond this spot. It's really just to help you understand where you might be. And if I'm going to offer credit scores in my mobile app and say, this is Forefront Credit Union's credit score for you, and that's going to be something that I'm not actually using and leveraging that same score for credit decisions, I'm failing. I'm setting an expectation that I'm going to have to constantly change and say, no, I know you thought that was your score, but see, the fine print says it's not really. And so when we talked with Savvy Money, who powers our credit score product, they deliver the Vantage Score 3.0, which is the credit scoring model that was built by Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion to kind of compete with FICO. And it very closely mirrors FICO 08, but it's a little bit different. And we looked at it and talked with our SVP of lending as well, and decided that, you know what, we're going to offer Vantage Score 3.0, and we're going to actually use Vantage Score 3.0 to internally as well for our credit decisions and for our pricing of loans. And so what we were able to roll out is, hey, member, this is your credit score. And it's not just the credit score that you get and you can see through your app. It's the exact same score and scoring model that if I pull your credit today, I'm going to get the exact same number. And so it makes it more meaningful also when we can go through now and through pre-approvals and through different scenarios, a member gets quoted the rate they qualify for, not an as low as rate. So there's no confusion in expectations. What do I earn? What's my payment going to be? All those calculations can really be done based on good actual data that means more. And that was the most important thing there, is that when we start looking at what's table stakes, what do we need to be able to have to just stay at the base level of what the expectation is, and a credit score is one of those things. We want to go table stakes plus if we can, right? Like bare minimum is we give you a credit score, but what's better is giving you the same exact score I'm going to get. And Savvy Money comes with, some other cool kind of selling points, in that you can pull your credit once every 24 hours. It's not every 60 days or every 30 days. It's literally every 24 hours you can pull it. Now, we all know that credit scores change, 3 times a month, maybe 4. But the member has that kind of control to pull their credit as often as they want. If they add a new trade, if they do anything else, they can see the immediate impact of that on their score, where it shows up and everything else. And so that was another really powerful partnership that has seen great adoption and great success, and turns into another way for us to now, as we offer that, do outbound calling, reach out to people and say, hey, we know we can save you money on these different loans that you have, these credit cards that you have. Let's talk about how we get that done.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this so much. And I think that's one of the really great things about Forefront and what you're doing is, when you're launching a fintech, you're not just putting it in chasing after the bright and shiny. It's really, okay, strategically, what do we want for our members? And if we do this, how do we change from the front end with the member sees all the way to the back end, and how we operate to make sure that it all is cohesive and seamless to the member, and really kind of raise the bar. Any other kind of fintech highlights or partnerships or things that you can think of when you're looking at a partner and vetting? I know Plinqit, you know, I think you and I worked on that for probably over a year, right? To get Plinqit into forefront, which I totally get, right? But is there anything else for our folks on the phone that you can share about how, when you see a fintech and think it's a right fit, how you kind of get it into the organization?
Yeah, so the process really starts with me on a lot of those things. It's part of my position here is to find those strategic partnerships that make sense, that can really add value, and drive our strategic goals forward. Engagement with members is super important, and finding new ways to engage them and to allow them to self-serve, but allow us to have more insight into what they're doing so that we can reach out a little more proactively also is super important. So when we look at and find something that at first might be, oh, that's shiny, that's pretty, that's cool, then we go through a process of saying, hey, what strategic goal are we currently supporting if we roll this out? What do we need to see from adoption, from engagement? What's the end result here? And what are all the trickle down effects? What other departments is it hitting? What other, burden or lift or work is involved to make sure that as we roll this out, the experience is going to be, like you said, cohesive. It's going to work throughout. So it's really making sure that all of those things line up. And for that, we'll usually do 2 to 3 demos. I usually do one by myself at first, and then start pulling in some of the other areas. And then we have a lot of internal conversations about, where do we go now? What does this look like? And what did I miss? And then, finally, obviously, we start talking about contract moving forward. And then, we always consider, we started our own QSO, Forefront Capital, to do investments in fintechs. And we always ask that question too, is this something that we not only want to partner with and kind of offer, but do we want to be an investor as well? Do we want to help drive the direction of this product so that it really continues to meet our members' needs and what we want to do? So that's kind of that process, and that's how that goes. And sometimes it's as simple as, we use Q2 for our virtual banking environment. And with that, Q2 has a great roadmap that really aligns with what we want to do, and they always want to offer the next best thing. And so, we went with a PFM as well. We had a single sign-on to Gzio. And it was really disconnected. It didn't make sense. It looked different. The color scheme was the same, I guess, but it looked and felt weird. And I didn't like it. And so we went with the contextual PFM piece from Q2, because what was important there is it brought everything up. So when you log in to your virtual banking with us, whether it's on the app or through online banking, your accounts, whether they're linked or not, can be grouped together. You have every checking account, whether it's from Forefront, Chase, or wherever, all connected together. The transaction categories, the transaction histories, everything looks and feels exactly the same, whether it's from Forefront or from somewhere else, because we know that the majority of the members that we have accounts at 3 to 4 other institutions, and we're not going to fight that. So we're going to embrace that and say, yes, that might be the case, but you know what? We're going to give you the best experience to manage all those things here. So link everything that you've got, put it here, and you can really manage things and see Forefront as your primary institution, even if you have a need or some value at some other institution.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Zach. I want to be respectful and make sure we get you all out on time. So we want to leave this last 10 minutes for Q&A. If you have a question, you can raise your hand and I'm happy to allow you to talk. It looks like on Zoom I have to allow to talk, which seems so dictatorshipy. Or you can just chat it. And Zach and I are happy to answer any questions. If you'd love a demo of Plinqit, obviously that's what we're here to do. And we'd love to partner with your credit union and talk to you about if there's a fit. If you'd love a demo of the product, please contact me anytime or info@htmobileapps.com. We will definitely make sure we send the deck we used today out to Trish and Leah so that you can get a copy of it as well. So with that, I'm going to turn it over for some questions. So Zach, our first question for you is, as you launch a fintech, do you have goals or measurements? How do you measure success with a fintech? Like, have you had ones that fail, I guess, is my curiosity building on that question.
Yeah, I would say that we haven't had one that failed yet. I've only been in my position looking for these fintech partnerships for about 2.5 years. So still relatively new, kind of going down that journey, but we do set goals. Sometimes those goals can be really nebulous and kind of hard to pin down. It depends on where the fintech is as far as what data they may have to provide to us. And we talked with Plinqit, said, okay, what should we expect? What's good? What's not good? We always want to be a top performer. So if we see a goal and, hey, the average person, the average institution is seeing this many accounts, this kind of deposits, we'd like to be on top of that. But we also know that Forefront, we have 88,000 members for 740 million. If you took those members and you gave them the average relationship balance that the normal credit union has, we would be well over $1 billion. But we service a very blue collar and service oriented group, and the average income is much lower. So some of those, with dollar goals, sometimes that's a little bit lower. But we're always looking for what's a good target, what do we feel happy with, and sometimes it's as simple as, let's roll this out, let's encourage it, and then we're going to do a full quarter and then really assess at that point now what makes sense, because sometimes, again, kind of going in, it's a little bit blind and you're not sure what the adoption is going to look like.
Yeah, absolutely. Another question for you. Do you have employees who get fatigue, right? It sounds like you're launching a lot of things. Do you have employees push back or get overwhelmed by the newness, right?
No, not usually, and that's a great question. And I have a couple canaries in the coal mine. I don't know if that's an appropriate thing to say or not, but we have somebody who's been in our contact center for 4 years, and she isn't our most tech savvy person, but she's just awesome with the members. They love her. We love her. She's one of our trainers. And what she has told people over and over again has told me is, we're always doing so much here, but I never feel overwhelmed, because we're very intentional with making sure that we roll out things at an appropriate cadence and really giving information as much as possible. One of those things that we did as well, like with Plinqit, we rolled to the employees first. You guys get to look at it, touch it, feel it, understand how it works before ever talking to the members about it. We also created an employee group through virtual banking. So any new feature or function that we roll out, the employee group gets it first, and they get it for anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks typically, to allow them to fully understand and really interact with it. So they're not learning while the members learning. Because coming from my history before getting to executive management was 15 years of leading contact centers. I know the impact of rolling something out and people learning about it from the members and trying to scramble and figure it out. And so we're very intentional with how we roll it out and do everything that we can to build that buffer and build that confidence before we really introduce it to the membership.
Yeah, I remember at my financial institution, the contact center was always the last to know, even though they should be the first to know, right? The first time they found out a lot of times about stuff is when a client was calling them saying, what is going on? And how do you help me with this? So I definitely think the employee engagement is key. Any last questions from the group? Feel free to, again, chat in. We're here for you. Zach, any closing words from you? Thank you so much for your insights. And is it okay if I share your email as well on the deck so folks can contact that to you if they have other questions?
Absolutely, absolutely. No, it's been great, and our relationship with HTMA Mobile has been outstanding, and it really is a relationship. It's a partnership. It's something that we do cooperatively together to serve these needs, and I just think that's great. And so I would encourage anybody to kind of reach out to Kathleen, see what they do. They're a great group of people, and they may have came from banking, but they have credit union hearts, I promise.
Yes. I still have everything through my University of Michigan Credit Union. All right, Zach, thank you all so much. NYIB and Trish, thank you for this opportunity. We appreciate it. Thank you to everyone that joined. The recording and deck will come out, and we are here anytime if you have anything that you need from us. Any last words, Trish?
No, thanks so much. This was great. It's fun to learn about a new product that's aimed more towards that adult age. We've always done a really good job in the credit union industry to reach kids, and now more than ever, we need to really work on reaching the entire membership. So thank you very much. It was a great product to focus on.
Awesome. Thank you all. Have a good one.
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
Have a great day, everyone.